I'm so sorry.
No, that's good. So we're here for lesson 20, group meeting and quiz with Denise Dosher and Emily Sunday. I've had my hair up in a bonnet all day, sterile attire.
Good job.
Looks pretty bad, but okay, here we go.
Doesn't looks all natural.
It's like sticking straight out to the side. Yep, so here we are. Yep, I don't think I have any questions because I didn't. Do you have anything you want to go over before we look at the test?
No, I mean, from this, I need to really review pretty good on what type of test the story problem is asking about. I think it's the hugest thing, and really becoming very familiar with that. But
yeah, I think my last exam, I did really good on like the spreadsheet stuff. It was just like I said, the questions where you're having to answer, like what type of theory is it, or I don't know, those kind of word problems. So
yeah.
I'm going to start the quiz whenever you're ready. You can click on.
Okay, getting there. Make sure I do the group one and not the real one here. Actually, that doesn't open till Thursday, so I should be okay, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, there's 23 questions, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh boy. All right. So it says they have two spreadsheets, blue scores and AM PM heights spreadsheet. And we have to round to 3 decimal places as usual. Okay. And then I actively participated in this group meeting. So number 1 is always my favorite question.
And I'm trying to pull it up here because I've already done some of these too as the homework. So I wonder if it's the same questions. I think it should be. So let me pull it up. So the first question, but it's just telling us to pull it up and have it ready, right? Okay.
I mean the spreadsheets?
Yeah.
They're just there whenever we want to access them for whatever problems they apply to, I guess.
Okay. So question 2. Mm-hmm. This is the Korea one. I'm just looking at my homework here.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was going to read it, or do you want to just...
Go ahead and read it. Yeah.
In the article in the Journal of Small Business Management, successful startup businesses in the U.S. and Korea were compared. One set of data compared educational level, high school, undergraduate degree, master's, and doctoral degree of people who manage successful startup companies in the U.S. and Korea. You want to determine if education level of managers of successful startup companies is independent of the country they are from, such as U.S. or Korea. Which hypothesis test would be most appropriate for this analysis? So, a lot of noise.
Sorry. My little girl's talking to me.
Oh, no.
Sweetie, on homework. Okay. Go talk to Daddy. He's downstairs. Okay, so I think on this one I kind of went back and forth, but paired sample test because it talks about differs between.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. And then I wondered about the chi-square test of independence that we did because I came across a reading where it talked about the same type of, maybe I got confused here. This wasn't talking about chiropractor. Never mind. So should we do paired?
Paired sample t-test is what I would say.
Okay.
But the chi-squared, I know we did it, but I'm trying to remember any rules with that. Are there any rules with that?
So basically, the requirements are the simple random sampling from a single population.
Yeah.
And then each expected count must be greater than or equal to 5.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I got confused. I don't know why They weren't talking about chiropractic on this one, were they?
No, that was the lesson,
Okay.
the last lesson.
Yeah, never mind then. I don't. Let's go with paired on that one.
Yeah. Okay. So number 3.
I can read it if you want.
Oh, sure.
I'll take a turn. A human resource manager reported data from a recently involuntary reduction in force at her company. You are an attorney and want to determine if age discrimination was a factor. It is illegal to discriminate I can't talk, discriminate against employees.
It's like me.
Because of age, the company reported the number of employees in 2 groups, 40-year-old, younger, and over 40 years old. They also reported the number of employees in each group who were terminated. You want to determine if both age groups were treated equally. Which hypothesis test would be most appropriate for this analysis? Again, I did paired, but what do you think?
On the last homework quiz I got all these questions right. I don't know why. I was surprised. You're like, you are an attorney. So they want to know if both age groups are treated equally. So the company reported no employees 20 years.
There's 2 groups.
Also reported a number of employees in each group who were terminated. Your attorney wants to determine if the age discrimination was a factor. So 2 groups, 40 years old and younger, 40 years old or younger, and over 40. So 2 groups, the number of employees each group were terminated.
Well, and we know isn't it a quantitative versus categorical because of age? I'm trying to remember if age falls under that.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was a test of 2 proportions, but it doesn't say. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Does that make any sense to you, or you're like, what are you talking about? I
think I have that worksheet pulled up here too. Let me look at the flow chart. Because test of 2 proportions falls under categorical.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, you're right.
So
yeah, I guess paired, is the only thing other that would make sense to me. So yeah, I think my brain would be better.
40 years old is, yeah. These confused me, and I did okay I did good with them the last time around, but I don't know why this time I'm like, what? I don't know.
Well, they said they want to know 2 different groups that are quantitative, and then replace each group for terminated. But they also want to know a group inside those 2. So I don't know if that's what. Oops. There you are.
Hey.
Where you went? I was saying that what's throwing me off is not just the 2 groups because paired, but then it also says they also report the number of employees in each group who are terminated. But I don't know if that matters. I don't think they're just throwing that piece of information to mess me up. You want to determine if both age groups were treated equally. So,
right.
I guess I would just leave it paired. I don't know. Question 4, unless you want to have any other thing to say about that. Question 3.
No, not at this point.
Okay. Question 4, a survey was conducted by a group of state lotteries. A random sample of 2,406 adults completed the survey. A total of 248 were classified as heavy players. Of these, 152 were male. You want to determine if the proportion of male heavy lottery players is different than the proportion of males in the population, which is 48.5. I would say one proportion. Test of one proportion.
That's, I agree.
Okay.
Yep. Whoops.
Sorry. Yep. So
I think I accidentally just switched my number 3. Just scroll down far enough. Okay. Whoops, now I scrolled down too far. Ah,
what are you doing, girl?
sometimes I think a laptop is good, but other times I think a other would be better. Okay. All right, a student project compared the effectiveness of 2 different combination locks. One of the locks turned clockwise first, and the other lock turned counterclockwise first. They asked 25 students to participate in the study. Each student was given a combination to each lock and asked to open the locks. The time it took them to open each lock was recorded. They want to determine if one of the locks is easier to open, which hypothesis test would be most appropriate for the analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think on that one, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I just think out loud.
Independent sample test, t-test? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My brain's a little bit slow tonight. My brain's just
You're fine.
Okay, so I'm trying to.
I'll read this definition. You tell me if it sounds right. So,
what's the definition for?
Independent.
Okay.
Independent.
Okay.
It says, in contrast to dependent samples, 2 samples are independent if knowing which subjects are in group 1 tells you nothing about which subjects will be in group 2. With independent samples, there is no pairing between the groups. Suppose you want to compare the incomes of men and women in general population. A random sample of men would be collected, and each would be asked to report their income. Similarly, a random sample of women would be drawn, and they would be asked to report their income. So I don't know. Maybe it's not that. I don't know. You compare the mean income of this.
Let's go through again. So 2 different combination locks. So I think that's. I don't think it's independent. I don't think it is because one's clockwise, one's counterclockwise. So one does have something to do with the other one, don't you think?
Well, I don't know because they say they're. Yeah, I wonder just because they say compared the effectiveness of 2 different combination locks.
Right, but what it says, one turns clockwise and the other turn counterclockwise first. So they're kind of, I think they're, I don't know, to me they're kind of related because I don't know if I'm accurate, but if you know one's counterclockwise, it's telling you that the other one's counterclockwise. You know, they're opposite. So I don't know. Does that, I don't know. To me, that's what I'm wondering.
But is that just because of the way that they work? It's not because they turned one this way, so they turned one the other way, but that's just how the combination worked?
No, it says one of the locks turned clockwise first and the other lock turned counterclockwise first. So I don't know why they were telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, yeah, so one of them you have to turn this way, the other one you have to turn that way. So yeah, each lock is a different, you turn one, like I said, you turn one way, one the other one way. So I don't know. I don't know that I would say independent, but.
Okay. What one would you think it would lean towards?
So if one lock is easier to open than the other, so it wouldn't be.
These are tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I just didn't think about that for a second. I had where's my thing? 1 second. I wrote down something I thought was going to help me here. Where did I write it? I'm sorry, I wrote down something that I wanted to look at because I was a little bit more clear on the types of tests. What the heck I did with this? So you would call this categorical, right? You wouldn't call it quantitative, would you?
Let me look at it again too.
I don't know.
Numbers of typical questionnaire ratings.
Maybe a one sample t-test. We don't have signal. No, it's categorical. It's not a test of proportions. Well, maybe we could rule it out. So we know it's not a chi-square test, right? Do we know that?
Right, I don't think so, because that would have what we just did.
Rows and column. Well, you probably could do rows and column, couldn't you? And you have the two different types of blocks that turn different ways, and then you have the time it took each one. I don't know. Could it be a chi? It's categorical.
Maybe. Look at.
We know it's not ANOVA. I don't think it's independent, but maybe it is.
No,
I don't think it's paired.
Two combination looks going. Well, and it only has this. There's only 25 students, so there's not 30 or more. So for like the simple random,
We can.
So maybe it would.
Maybe we can move on and just.
Because maybe it would be chi, because it doesn't have. Because on a chi, you only need 5 or more, or 10 or more, right? Or I'm just thinking about this. I don't know.
God, these things drive me crazy. Can you?
Okay.
I keep saying my Hangouts doesn't detect a camera. What the freak? Connected to your computer without a camera? Of course I
can
have.
hear you.
It's
And I
because
see a little blue person.
It's because my camera has a red color over it. I'm trying to. Every time I click it off, it gives me this stupid. Oh my God, this thing drives me crazy. No camera found since when? Stupid thing. I hate this fucking computer. Oh, good God. Forget it. I don't care. Sorry, it's driving me crazy.
No, you're fine.
We can skip it and come back to it. I mean, when you went through the questions, didn't they give you the answers to them so you could kind of see?
No, I don't think so, because I think that they're on the test, so they don't give them to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyhow,
I just need to think about that one for a minute. Can I come back to it, or you?
Yeah,
Or do you
yeah,
want to?
that's
Or
fair.
you can answer it if you want, whatever you want to put it in. I just need to think about it.
Okay, so 7? Is that around 7?
Number 6.
Or no, 6.
Yeah. A bank employs 2 appraisers. When approving borrowers for mortgages, it is imperative that the appraisers value the same types of properties consistently. To make sure this is the case, the bank evaluates 6 properties that both appraisers had recently valued. Which confidence interval would be most appropriate for this study? One sample Z confidence, one sample T confidence interval. There's one of them that we don't have. That would be the, isn't the Chi that doesn't have the confidence interval? I think it's a Chi there's no confidence interval for. One sample Z confidence.
I don't know.
Well, we don't have the, use a T test, we don't have the standard deviation, so it would be a one sample T confidence interval.
What did you say? Sorry.
One sample T confidence interval.
One sample T.
Bank evaluates 6 properties that both appraisers had recently. Because Z is if you have sigma, you don't have sigma, so it would be a T. It wouldn't be paired. I don't see how it'd be independent. It's not proportions. The only thing that makes sense to me is the one sample T confidence.
The bank employs 2 appraisers. When a borrows from it is imperative that the appraisers value the same. So to make sure this is the case, the bank evaluates 6 properties. So we're talking about properties?
Yes.
So just one thing. Yeah, I would, if we're doing what's one, I would say that sounds more likely because the Z doesn't have, yeah.
Yeah, the T, you have to do the T if you don't have the standard deviation.
Right.
Is that unknown?
So,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
number 7.
Yeah.
In a Wall Street Journal article on satisfaction with career paths, the percentage of psychology majors reporting. Savannah, go to bed.
There's something in there that I need to get out.
Sorry. Let me get my husband to get this little munchkin to bed.
Okay, so I'm just going to read this so I can look at it. In a Wall Street Journal article on satisfaction with career paths, the percentage of psychologists reporting they were satisfied with their career paths was reported. The same data was also reported for accounting majors. You decide to construct a 95% confidence interval, see if the observed difference is significant. Which confidence interval would be most appropriate for this study? So you have a percentage of psychology majors reporting.
So
That'd be
I think on that one, I just confidence interval for one proportion. I don't know. What do you think?
You know you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, so it's percentage of psychology majors reporting they were satisfied with their career. The same data was also reported for accounting majors. You decide, start to 95%, which confidence interval to see if the observed difference is significant. So aren't they comparing the 2 different career paths with a percentage? So
differences. So 2 would be 2 proportion.
That's what I always think, but I'm not trying to steer you wrong. Because it says, let's see, the observed significant difference is significant, and that would be between the 2, right?
Right.
I would say test 2 proportions. That's what I would say. But
okay.
What do you think?
I agree. I did one. on my homework, but now when I look at it and I see that the word difference in there, I'm thinking too now.
Okay, so number 8, double stuffed Oreo cookies are supposed to have twice the filling of regular Oreo cookies. You and some friends decide you want to know if that is a true assertion by the company who makes them. You take a sample of 55 double stuffed Oreo cookies and measure the amount of filling in each one. You need to construct a confidence interval to estimate the true mean filling of the amount of double stuffed Oreos in order to compare it to the filling amount in regular Oreos. So they want to see if it's greater than the regular Oreos, right? If it's
Mm-hmm. It says
What'd you put?
estimate. It says estimate the true mean.
Yep. Which one would that be? Is that
And so one sample T.
I was thinking independent sample T confidence.
Oh, great.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm right on these.
Okay.
I'm just that's.
So you take a sample, measure the amount. You need to conduct a confidence interval to estimate the true mean or to compare the filling.
I don't
Which
have any idea.
confidence is the most appropriate? So we want the true mean.
I want it to. Well, yeah.
So which one were you thinking independent?
Yeah, but I need to look at that again. I'm not being very helpful here. I'm sorry.
No, you are. I'm lost. I need to review these because I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like I'm having a hard time this time around.
Well, the independent says that one has nothing to do with the other, so I don't know. Why would you say one sample T? What made you say that? Do you know?
I highlighted estimate the true mean. I don't know why I highlighted that.
Under one sample T confidence?
Is that what it talks about? True mean under that one?
I have read that. This is true. Estimate the true mean. You know, if I didn't just come from running around all day, I feel like I would be a little bit more clear, but I don't feel very clear. I feel like I can't recall stuff in my brain right now.
I wonder if that's because I had that on the, let's see.
I don't know. I wrote all these down. I have to go back and review. Are you there?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now can you see me? Well, you did a second ago. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. But you can hear me. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, I can. Well, and I am not really looking because I'm looking at the quiz and stuff. So.
But what is paired samples T? Does it usually say paired sample T? I don't remember that.
Well, paired sample is the same as dependent or dependent. Paired and dependent are the same. I think it's just different ways of saying it.
But so you're saying the T is meaning dependent?
So paired or dependent. So I was saying.
I mean, there it says the letter T as in Tom. I don't know why it says T confidence interval.
Because one sample T is the one that. I'm just looking.
I just remember them listing it that way before. Okay.
Yeah. Where did I have that? It's here.
Okay, it says use T distribution when we don't know the population standard deviation.
So what do we know on this one? Let's see. So Okay, so we have a sample size of 55. And we don't know, we don't have a standard deviation, right?
Mm-mm. So there's two. I don't think they're paired though. You think they're paired? Or you did one
No.
sample? Yeah.
Yeah, one sample T is what I
Okay.
but-
Okay. I agree with you. I don't know. For some reason, what's
And
independent?
I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Then I start to wonder if it's a confidence interval for one proportion. When we're estimating, is that a key word to indicate that it's one of those specific tests when it says estimate?
I know that. Yeah. When it says estimate the true mean, that's what I don't know that it's. Yeah, it means something, but. So I just wrote down. This is a test of two proportions. The test of independence is less limiting. The row variable can have as many rows. Well, that's less than 19. Does that make sense? No. I don't think that would be because the null hypothesis is independent or not independent. So I don't think it would be.
Yeah. Right. All right. Should we just go with one sample T? See what happens.
Sure.
All right. Done with those for now, I think.
Your favorite.
Which one of the following best defines the notion of the significance level of hypothesis test? I say the probability of rejecting the null, whether it's true or not. Is that right?
Which one of the following best defines the notion of the significance level hypothesis? So if the level significance is, well, yeah, I guess it does make differences to. It's not D, it's not C. Let me see one.
I looked this up in lesson 9.
Yeah.
And it says, how do we decide if the which one? Okay.
I think you're right. I was just reading A. The probability of observing a sample statistic more extreme than the one actually obtained, assuming a null hypothesis. That is the answer for some problem. One.
The next, I think that's the one for the next one, I think. What is 10, I think?
The p-value of hypothesis test.
Or the p-value, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the probability one goes with that one.
Okay, perfect. And then let me see, 11. Suppose you create a 95% confidence interval for a mean and get 10 and 20. You've been told to report this by saying something like, we are 95% confident that the true mean is between 10 and 20. Exactly what does that mean? I'm usually pretty good at this. Let me see. 94% of the sample. No, 90% of all the 95%. Is it D? The 95% chance that the true mean is between 10 and 20?
I think it's B. I think it's not that because I looked up in lesson 10 and it says this. It says, we do not say that there is a 95% probability or chance that the true mean is between The probability that the true mean is between is either 1 or 0.
But I'm trying to understand. It's 95% of all 95% confidence. That doesn't make sense to me.
I wrote that down in my notes somewhere. I heard it or read it somewhere. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm 90% sure.
Well, it says 95% of all 95% confidence intervals actually contain the true mean. I don't know how that makes. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm trying to understand how that makes sense to me. It could be 95% of all sample means are between 10 and 20. No, sample means.
You've been told to report this by saying something like, we are 95% confident. So.
But I mean, if you read the answer, what does it mean? 95% of all 95%. What does that mean?
So
95%
I think I'm trying to remember what it means exactly, but I think it's like saying that 95% of all the confident intervals that fall within that 95% are actually what contain the true mean. Like, we're not saying that 95% of this, I don't know how to explain
But
that.
it says 95% of all 95%. How do they know that 95% of all the 95% confidence interval contain the true mean? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. We can put it and see what happens.
Well, let's see. The correct interpretation of 95% confidence intervals to say we are 95% confident that the true mean lies within the lower and upper bounds of the confidence interval. Consider the 95% confidence interval for the true mean of 25 rolls of a fair die. We found the 95% confidence interval to be, and it gives the upper and lower bounds. When we interpret this confidence interval, we say we are 95% confident the true mean is between da da da. The word confident, so I don't know.
I agree with the sentence except for the two 95%. It should say 95% confidence. Well, yeah, 95% of all the confidence intervals. I don't know. That's just messed up. It should say 95% of the true mean or something like that is within the confidence interval. 90, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I'm just confused. It says 95% of all 95% confidence intervals. How do they get 95% of 95% is what I don't understand. That makes sense to me, but
I remember having it explained, but I can't remember.
I mean, out of all the times they've had these questions, I've never seen it written like that. Have you? I've never seen.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I've never seen. It says we are 95% confidence that the true mean is within that, you know.
Yeah.
Or 95% of the time, whatever's within that mean. But I've never seen it had 25% and 95%. Have you seen that? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I did. I'm just trying to remember where I saw that. Maybe if I can.
I just don't remember that it putting it like that, but we can skip it and come back if you want. I don't know. It's up to you. Or is it better for you to figure it out before you move on? Sometimes my brain was just like, I can't look at it anymore. I have to come back.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find something. We can go on. I'll let you move on while I type this in.
Okay, so 12, it says you use this following information for the next 3 questions. You take a simple random sample of 100 adults from a town in western United States to determine the proportion of those in town who invest in the stock market. Assume the unknown population proportion or percentage of people in town who invest in the stock market is 0.30 or 30%. What is the mean of the distribution of the sample proportions? So is that where p hat is equal to x over n? Is that what I don't know what we're doing here. So the n would be
for this one.
Yeah.
I think for this one. Well, I got D on it.
There is no D.
Oh, sorry. On the homework, I got D. 0.30. So what's that one on in here? Oh, we just fill it in. So let's see if I have where I put
I'm not
that.
sure what you mean. So you're saying the answer is P?
0.30.
Is the mean of the distribution of the sample proportions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it on the homework. It said we could choose from 30, 70, 0.70, and 0.30.
Okay.
And I got 0.30.
Sorry.
I'm trying to see if I wrote down how I got it there.
Okay. It says, what is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample proportion? And I don't remember the formula for that. I have to go back and look.
Is this where I plugged it into the Excel?
I don't. Do you have enough information to plug it into the?
No,
The Excel
I'm just
wants
trying-
they want a confidence interval and a type of test.
Maybe I did this one by hand. So standard deviation is p hat equals the square root of p times 1 minus p divided by the number.
But the answer you're still saying for 12 is 0.30, right?
Yes, that's because
Yeah.
P hat and
Yeah,
or the
I got that part, but we can go over it. I got that part. Hmm. Are you still there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the standard deviation is the, yep. So,
is the P hat equals
yeah. So I have to write it down.
is-
Mhm.
anyway,
So P would be 0.30, right? Times 1 minus 0.30
yeah.
over N. I just have to go to my calculator here on the computer. Sorry. 1 minus 0.30 times 0.30 is 0.21. So are you getting 0.002?
Is that your answer? Answer?
That's what I'm getting from the calculations with that formula.
Did you square root it?
I did not, because I don't have that part on here. Can you? So I'm sorry. My phone is kind of out of power. I don't have it on my calculator. But thank you for reminding me. I always forget that.
So, no, yeah. So I got, after square rooting it, I got 0.458.
Emily,
Hello?
there you
Hey.
are.
Hey.
Okay, I got my phone, so let me see if I can. Square root it. Got it. 0.0021. So are you getting 0.046?
I did not, but maybe I did it wrong.
So what,
Yeah.
1 minus 0.30, right? You're getting 0.7, and you multiply that by 0.30 is 0.21 divided by 100. Is that what you're not getting at?
Do it again. Because I got 0.458, but let me see.
Well, that's what I got too, but I rounded it.
0.458.
Well, if you do 0.458, would it? Oh, okay. I had added a 0 in there, didn't I? Hold on. I think I.
Let me just check though. Okay, so 1 minus 0.
Yeah, so I got 0.0458. So if you round that, it would be 0.046.
Okay.
Because there's a 0.0458. Are you seeing that too?
Why is my thing working? It's not working. Just a second.
Okay.
I'm trying to. Why is this not working?
Your calculator?
Yeah.
Oh.
times 0.30 divided by 100. So 0.0458. Okay. All right, I agree with you. Sorry, I
No,
must have done something wrong.
Oh, you're fine. I just to make sure I did it right because I forget steps.
So 0.046.
Yeah. So the question 14 says, what is the probability that your random sample of 100 adults will have a sample proportion less than 0.25? Is that when we use a normal probability applet? Can we use that?
Yeah, I would think so.
We'll have to figure out the z-score for that.
Yeah.
But do we know what p-hat is?
So p-hat is the same as, is equal to p, right? Is that what I remember from before somewhere? But we're actually going to take, it's given 0.25 to us, so 0.25 is our p-hat.
Okay, yeah, I'll say something. Minus 0.30, which would be the p over the square root of 0.30 minus 0.30 over n square root of, right? So, excuse me.
Goes that divided by 0.46. And then we take that and plug that into the probability applet, right? Less than.
Kate.
You there?
Yeah, so did you get it? I got an answer. I don't know if you.
Yeah, so did you get negative 1.086 or rounded to 7 and plug that into the probability applet?
No.
No?
No, because like if we take 0.25 minus 0.30, you get negative 0.05.
Yep.
And then the square root of that bottom part is what we had before with the
Yeah.
standard deviation.
So you divide it by 0.046.
I just do the whole number because you're rounding before you're doing the full calculation. So I did negative 0.05 divided by 0.0458257569. So I got negative 0.109. I don't know if that's right with the standard deviation or with the z-score.
Yeah, I just, because we figured our standard deviation, like on the previous question, we typed in 0.046.
I know, but we're not supposed to round before the calculations are complete. So it's not asking you for the standard deviation, even though it gives you the same formula. You still have to use the same formula. I don't know.
Well, because the standard deviation is that same formula underneath.
I know, but you're rounding. We're not supposed to rounded till we're done with the calculations. You're rounding before the calculation is done.
Okay. Well, let me just see.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude, but I thought we weren't supposed to do any rounding until the calculation was completely done. So even the standard deviation is that number. That's because you rounded. But we're not supposed to round until we do the full calculation. So that's my understanding. I don't know. 0.25 minus 0.30. Okay. And then
So what did you get then in when you plugged that in? You did negative 1.091?
I got negative 0.109.
Negative 0?
No. Or it's negative 0.109.
To plug into the probability thing?
Well, on the calculation, that's what I'm getting because, I mean,
Because
are we
even
not?
when I take that 0.05, the negative 0.05, and I divide it by that 0.04582575669,
You're still getting something different.
I get negative 1.091.
Okay, let me do this again. I must have done the calculation wrong.
Okay.
1 minus 0.30. I may have had a 0 or nothing. Okay, I must have had it taken out a 0 or something or added a 1. So negative negative 1.09. Okay, there we go.
Negative 0.091, just because we're supposed to have 3 decimals, right?
Yes, you're right.
And then, so for the probability, did you get 0.1376?
I haven't plugged it in yet.
And it's less than. So I was asking.
Yeah, so 0.138, right, if you round it?
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Okay, thanks. Takes like a whole village to get a math problem, right?
On this stuff,
Checking.
yeah.
Checking after each other. I had this 0 wrong. And, oh my God.
138. 0.138.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Next 7 questions. Sheesh. Acupril is meant to control hypertension. In clinical trials of Acupril, 2,142 subjects were divided into 2 groups. The 1,563 subjects in the experimental group received Acupril. The 579 subjects in the control group received a placebo. Of the 1,563 in the experimental group, 61 experienced dizziness as a side effect. I already hate this problem. Of the 579 subjects in the control group, 15 experienced dizziness as a side effect. Oh, it's at P1. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. So let P1 create the 95%. Oh, hold on. Let P1 be the true proportion that people experience dizziness while taking Acupril. And P2 be the true proportion of people who experience dizziness but do not take Acupril. Create a 95% confidence interval. So we can do that Excel spreadsheet on this.
Yeah.
I have to find how to get that spreadsheet again. See what's the bottom of this. Nope, that's not. Would it be the Excel spreadsheet or is it just the formula for?
I did it on the
You did,
Excel.
okay.
Yeah. Because you gave that idea to me and that was wonderful.
Yeah. Sorry, I found my stupid download.
Let's see. I want to make sure you get the same answer that I got. Make sure I did it right.
have like 500 things open. Are you still here?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I have to pull the quiz back up so I can see what the heck I'm looking at. Never. Not too many pages open. Okay, so for P1, so 1563, subjects 579. Okay, 61 here and 15 here. Okay. P1, 2. Let me go back to the spreadsheet. Sorry. Takes like an hour. Okay, so X1 would be the 1563. N1. Oh, no, it would be right. The N1 would be the 1563. And then the X1 would be the 61, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's put them in backwards. I think 579. 95% confidence interval.
Yep.
And it want to know the difference or less than or greater than? Is it the, I forgot what it said.
It wanted to know the experienced dizziness while taking it. So, two groups.
Okay, so it would be the
did or
No.
didn't.
right, the null hypothesis of not equal to.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the z-score, I got 1.458. The p-value, I got 0.145. And the lower bound, the confidence interval is negative 0.003. And the upper bound is 0.029. And if we check the requirements in here, it's, now when I say there's a 0 in it, the, I don't know if that's, they're all greater than 10 or equal to, so that meets that. So let's see what the question.
So they want to know the margin of error.
Okay, so the margin of error would be 0.029 subtract negative 0.003 divided by 2. So it would be 0.016.
Yep.
So that would be the first question, right? 0.016.
Yep.
Okay. And then the lower bound would be negative 0.003, right? I got that?
Yep. Yep.
Upper bound is 0.029.
Yep.
And then 0.05. So the p-value is going to be greater than the 0.05. So we failed to reject the null hypothesis. Did I get that right?
So it was, sorry.
Oh, never mind. I was going ahead. The question 18 is,
okay.
what are the appropriate null and alternative hypotheses? So it would be
A, right?
yeah. So yeah, I just looked at A and A looks correct. So A, yeah.
Okay. And then
what the value of your test statistic is?
1.458. Or wait, yeah.
Yeah, the z-score is a test statistic. So
1.458.
The p-value is 0.145.
Yep.
Okay. And since the p-value is 0.145, right?
P-value is at 0.928. Oh,
No,
hold on. No,
0.145.
I messed up here. Sorry. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 0.145.
So that's greater than the level of significance 0.05. So that would be fail to reject. Let's get those.
So I did. Straight to the right. So I did I said, no, I failed to accept the alternative.
Well, yeah, but if the p value is greater than the level of significance, we fail to reject, right?
Right. It
So,
says, is there sufficient evidence? It would be, is there insufficient evidence?
okay.
Right? Is that right? So when it's asking, is there sufficient? No, there's not sufficient because there's insufficient because we failed to. It gets really confusing. Does that make sense?
My computer's, I don't know, it's driving me crazy.
So on this one, does that make sense? Is that right? So it says, is there sufficient evidence? And right there, that's wrong because it would be no, because it'd be insufficient. And
right, so it would be
then,
no, but there's 3 no's, so we didn't reject the null hypothesis, so it wouldn't be that one. We failed to reject. How come you put it for the alternative hypothesis?
because when we were doing these problems, remember it was not
Right, independent
not
or not
the-
independent?
it was not the alternative on these ones, remember? Is that
Oh, that's
right?
right. Yeah.
Am I remembering that right? It was a little different. Is that part of what this one entails? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Well, we have to eliminate all the yes answers because it's not yes. So the only 3 no's is either, and it can't be the second no because I rejected the null
Right.
hypothesis.
Right.
So we failed to reject.
But with these particular ones,
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree with you.
it was the not,
Yeah.
but I hope that's right, but that's what I put.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
The last
what
one's
that one
confusing
is.
because it says no, I failed to reject the null hypothesis.
Right.
But-
So it would be,
But you didn't, yeah. So you failed to reject the null hypothesis, but well, it says, is there sufficient evidence to conclude that yeah. So the answer is no, but you said failed to accept I don't know, I'm confused. It's confusing to me, the way they word this.
yeah, because it was when we were learning these new ones that was saying how when you, where is it at? It was different. It was, because normally if I would say I failed to reject the null. But with the ones we were learning, it was saying you failed to accept the other one. Do you remember that?
No, but I agree with you.
Yeah. Just trying to see where I wrote it.
Oh crap, there's 45 questions to this.
Yeah.
I thought it was 23. Fooling me. Okay. We have to have this done by 11, or as long as we start it by 11? I'm confused. We have a half hour
Well,
left.
last time we went over, but we couldn't retake it. We just submitted it. And
Oh crap. Okay. So let's see if we can move on. The survey conducted, or are you gonna do that one? Sorry.
that's okay. I can read it. Yeah. All right. A survey was conducted of 1,279 randomly selected adults aged 18 and older. They were asked, "Are you a morning person or a night person?" The hypothesis for the study are null. Being a morning or evening person is independent of age. Oh, this is where it was talking about it. See how this is okay? Or being a morning or evening person is not independent of age. The results of the survey are given here. So that's what I was trying to explain is the null is where it talked about it being like one way and the alternative not that way.
Yeah, I got you. So
And then it gives us the information and then conduct a test of independence.
so we have to do the spreadsheet. That's PSS for this, right?
Yeah, and I plugged that in. I got some answers, but I do you do you want to just go through and put what I have, and then if I got it wrong, we can go back and
Yeah, we'll only have a half hour, so we have, I don't think we're going to be able to find out if any answers are wrong. But yeah, what did you get for the test statistic?
So anyway, for the test statistic, I plugged it into the worksheet and everything. I got 6.580.
6.580.
Yeah.
What did you get for the p-value?
And then for the p-value, I got 0.087.
Okay. And then for the reject the null hypothesis, I don't know what
So
the level.
So we're comparing that to 0.05. And so it's greater than. So I got, it'd be, no, the p-value is greater than, right? Is it A?
Are you there? Okay. So it'd be the fourth one down. No, the p-value is greater than 0.05.
Should you reject? So we should reject. So yes, because the p-value is greater than 0.5. Because if
fail to reject, isn't it not fail to reject?
no, because the p-value, if it was failed, if it was failed to reject, or hold on, okay, let me think. Okay, so the p-value, if the p-value is less than, it's reject. So it would be, you're right. No, the p-value is greater. Yeah. Okay, that's what. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had to think through it again.
No, you're fine. 25. What do you conclude based on your results? So if you fail to reject, you have insufficient evidence to say.
So D.
Being a morning person is not independent. Yep.
Okay. And then a recent book noted that only 20% of investment managers outperform the Dow Jones Industrial Average over a 5-year period. A random sample of 200 investment managers that had graduated from one of the top 10 business programs in the country were followed over a 5-year period. 50 of these outperformed the Dow Jones Industry Average. Let P be the true proportion of investment managers who graduated from one of the top 10 businesses who outperformed the Dow Jones over a 5-year period. So based on the results of the sample, create a 95% interval of P and put the upper bounds and lower bounds below around to 3 decimals.
Did you do these already on your homework?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind doing them. You know I know how to do this, but if you want to try
Yeah,
to
no, and then see if I did it right.
What did you get for the lower input?
So one proportion on Excel worksheet. So I just plugged those numbers into the Excel as a one proportion. So what's it asking for?
The lower bound.
So for lower bound, I got 0.190.
And then the upper bound?
And then, hold on, I'm just typing that one in. And for the upper bound, I got 0.310.
Okay.
310.
And then 28, suppose you have been in charge of designing the study. What sample size would be needed to construct a margin of error of 2% with 95% confidence? Use the estimator prior estimate of P as 0.02 for this estimate.
So I did the formula, n equals the critical value 1.96 divided by margin of error, I put 0.02 squared, because I put 0.02 because that was the, I don't know.
The P.
or the P.
A point estimator.
And then times it by 0.2, times that by 1 minus 0.2.
What'd
I
you get?
got 1537. At 15,
Okay.
37.
Suppose you wish to see if there's evidence that the graduates of the of one of the top 10 business programs performs better than the other. Use a level of significance as 0.05. So do we get the p-value? Did you get a p-value with this?
So on that one, they gave us the 0.2. And
Well,
then
p, is that the p-value? That's not the same thing as a p-value, is it?
p-value, what's it asking? Sorry.
The question is, which of the following pairs of hypothesis hypothesis is the most appropriate for addressing this question? So I guess we don't need to know that. And it's asking for who outperformed. So the null hypothesis is equal to 0.02, or it's not equal to 0.02. But it says outperformed, so they mean greater than?
I did. So the null is equal to that, and then I did the alternative that p is greater than 0.2.
Greater than, yeah.
All right.
That's because it said out.
So that would be
What requirements must be met?
C, or no, A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah.
Okay.
So question 30, what requirements must be met to ensure that p hat is normally distributed? That's what I remember. Is it the n times p is greater or equal to 10, and then n is times 1 minus p is greater or equal to 10?
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay.
So A.
Get this value of your test statistic. Did you get anything for that?
I got, I had a question. I did, but it wasn't one of the answers that they had, so I was confused. So I don't know what to do on that one, actually.
Okay.
So we could plug this into the one sample t-test. Just make sure I did this right here. I did.
What was you use a formula to get the z-score, right?
Yeah. Well, I just plugged in the numbers. So what I did wrong was I probably am looking at I have to figure it by hand, right? I can't get that answer from the.
So you're doing a
Because
one.
what I did is I did that where I took the Z that's on the Excel sheet, but that's the test. That's the test statistic. That's what they want, right?
The test is statistic for this is a one sample t-test. Yeah.
So I plugged in everything. So
it should give you. It's not the z-score. It should tell you on that spreadsheet. It should say. It should say test statistic, shouldn't it? It's right by the degrees of freedom, isn't it? It should be in that box with the degrees of freedom.
So this one I did on the Excel. Is it not done on Excel?
No. No, because this one actually gives you, well, hold on, where am I at? I'm sorry, I'm down too far. I don't think so. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on.
No problem. Yeah, so questions 23 through 29. And then I took the random sample of 200 and I plugged that into Excel as the N.
But if you're doing a proportion test, that would be the spreadsheet. But if you're doing the one sample t-test, that would be the spreadsheet.
Well, this is a true proportion. So I can do it on Excel, right?
Yeah. But I don't
Is that
remember.
right?
Yeah. But how do we get the degrees of, is it asking, hold on, maybe I'm on the wrong question.
Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, okay, I thought it was asking for degrees of freedom. That's what I was like, what the heck? Okay. I don't know where it would
So
tell you that the test statistic would be, what is the test statistic for the proportion test? What is it the same as? That's what I'm confused about. Because you're not doing a one sample t-test if you're doing a proportion. That's what I think I'm confused, right?
I'm doing a sample z-test for a proportion on the Excel. So I took that story problem above.
Right, so the z-score, but you're not getting the right z-score.
Right, I'm not getting a z-score that's any of the multiple choice question choices.
But this doesn't have a multiple choice. This has a box to fill in.
I know, on the homework. When I did it on the homework, it had a selection of multiple choice to choose from, but I didn't get any of those answers when I plugged this into the Excel.
Are you there?
Yep. I didn't get any of the answers from the multiple choice that's given on the homework when I plugged it into Excel.
Yeah, I'm confused by that because if you got all the other answers right, I don't know why this one would be.
I don't know. That's why I was confused. So I don't know if you want to do it with me and just plug those in real quick on that. Do you still have that Excel worksheet pulled up?
Yeah, but I got to plug my laptop in before it dies. So give me 1 second. Sorry. So yeah, let me plug that in. So, but did you make sure that you did one proportion or two proportion?
I did one proportion.
Is that what this is asking for?
This is asking Dow Jones over a period, a random sample of this, 50 perform the Dow Jones. Let it be the true proportion of investment managers who graduated from one of the top 10 business programs that performed Dow Jones over.
Who outperformed the Dow Jones over 5 years. So recent.
So is it
only
just
20% of all investment managers? Of these, 50 of these outperformed. Oh, this question sucks. 50 of these outperformed the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let P be the true fortune. She graduated from. I don't think it's a one proportion, is it? I don't know.
you don't?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to.
It's just no.
I'm just trying to pull it out of my head from. There's nothing much in my head right now. But I don't know how you would be getting that wrong because it's not like you have to figure out how to put stuff in. It's pretty simple to put in, so I don't understand why that would be wrong. But let me. What did you put in for?
Should we try it on two proportion?
What did you put in for X1 though?
So for X1, I put 50. Or no, for X, I put 50 because it gave us, that's probably why I did it as one proportion because we don't have two.
Yeah. Well, let me read this again. A recent book noted that only 20% of us are, okay. A random sample of 200 investment managers that graduated from one top business country were followed over a 5-year period. 50 of these outperformed who outperformed the Dow. It says who outperformed the Dow Jones over. What type of test did you put? Like when it's P. Hold on, I have to look at that again. I don't know. I'm not trying to be stupid. I'm trying to figure what the heck.
No.
Okay, so if you put in 50 for X1 and you put in 200 for N1, or no, not N1. Yeah, that's right.
For N.
For N, and then we have to change it to
95.
the type of test. Yeah, it's 95. It would be greater than.
Outperformed, so did better than, right?
So z-score is 9. Oh, you know what? I have mine under 2 proportion. Let me figure. So the z-score is 0.873.
Let me look here and see if that was one of the.
Oh, hold on. You know what you didn't? What about the null? What did you put in for the null hypothesis? That's what I'm. You need a null hypothesis.
That's what I'm wondering about. So when I did it as, I just left it as it was, and it was like 0.70.
Yeah, and you
But
gotta put that in.
so is the null 0.2?
Well, recent book note that 20% of all investment management outperformed. Yeah, so if 20% of all investment managers outperform the Dow Jones, they're wanting to know 50 of these if they outperform the Dow Jones. So I think that's the null hypothesis is 0.20. That's what I would think. Let's plug that in. Yeah,
And
you can't.
I get 0.440, and I don't have that as one of the options to select from.
But what is the question asking you that you're trying to select from? The test statistic?
The value of your test statistic is, and then it gives 4 different answers.
Yeah, this is weird. It's given 13.500 z-score. What? No, I got that wrong. Less than. Hold on. Doggone it. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you know why? Because how did I get 74 and then my X? Good grief. Okay, did you get a z-score of 7.500?
No.
You put 50 in for X, 100 for N. Was it 100?
200.
I don't know why mine's getting all changed around. I'm not trying to change it. Okay, so the z-score is 1.768. Good grief. Every time I look up, I had a box with information.
Okay, that is one of the selections. Now, how come I'm not getting that? How did you get that?
Well, look at your boxes. I filled in all the boxes correctly, and then when I went back, it had altered. I had X is 74, N is 100. It was all messed up. So look at your box. Maybe it's like altering it on its own or something. I don't know what the freak.
So your X says 50, N says 200, confident 0.95, 0.20 is the null.
Okay. And then greater
than.
And it says one proportion on the bottom, right?
Yes.
Did you hit enter on those? I don't know. I got 1.768. What the p-value? I got 0.039. I don't know what to say about all that.
I don't know, but so let's go off of yours because mine's not pulling that up for some reason. But that was one of the selections was 1.768. And then what did you get for your p-value? 0.039?
Yeah.
And that was one of the answers that you could get too. I don't understand that. I don't know why mine's not working.
So are you on number 31, right?
31 is 1.768, right? And then 0.039.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know why mine wasn't working.
Maybe you have to get rid of it and go back in it again or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so they give you a level of significance.
0.05.
Okay. So it's less than, so we reject the null hypothesis, right? Because we have sufficient. So it'd be
Right,
A.
yeah. Or is it?
Yeah. So it's, yeah. Did you get that? The p-value is less than the level of significance. No, 0.05. Yeah. It's less than, so we reject for sufficient evidence, correct?
Right.
Okay, so that would be A, and then here we go to the next problem. Oh dear God, did you do the spreadsheet or the thing for this?
Yeah.
Do you have the lower bound?
Let's see. Get down there. All right. Hold on. Okay, lower bound. Oh, I hope I did this right. Anyway, so I plugged it in and I did it as a one sample t unknown.
Okay.
Sound right? I don't know. So then I got 0.288 for the lower. And hold on. 0.0.288 Sorry, what did I tell you?
0.288.
288. And then I hope I did this right. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, if we can get
Zero
this turned in before 11, then we can go back and do stuff. But
Right. 0.293.
okay. No, I appreciate what you're doing. Calculate the degrees of freedom, the test statistic, and the p-value. Did you
All
get all
right. So for the test statistic, I got negative 2.803.
What did you get for the degrees of freedom?
99. Um, 2.803. The p-value. Is 0.006. 0.006.
Are you there?
You there? You there?
Yeah, I don't know what it does. What'd you get for the
P-value 0.006.
Okay. Good grief. I only have like 7 minutes to turn it. I'm not trying to rush. We don't have to go fast.
So 0.05 is greater than that. So the p-value is less than, right?
The p-value is less than the level.
So-
Yeah. So it'd be reject. Right. The p-value is
We
less.
have, so we have sufficient, right? Let's see.
Yes.
We have sufficient evidence to say the true mean is different than. We have sufficient evidence to say that the true mean is different.
So it'd be A, right?
Is that right? Different? Not equal to, right? Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. Because either equal or
Or-
different. So the spreadsheet for AM, PM.
So I got, see, so what's the next one it's asking for?
Lower bound.
All right, where did I put that down at? Where are you? Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, lower bound, I think was 8 point, why is that? Sorry, I'm just looking here because I'm not seeing. Okay, so lower bound as 8.728.
We'll get for the upper bound. If we don't turn this in a few minutes, we're not going to be able to go back and look at any of the answers. But the problem is too that we won't be able to go back and redo the answers unless we write them all down. So we want to start writing them down, or we're just going to have to, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so what'd you get for 41? The upper bound?
10.455.
And then the test statistic?
Test statistic was sorry, I have to scroll through it here. 22.446.
And then the degrees of freedom.
Degrees of freedom, I got 40.
And then the p-value.
0.
And then is there significant evidence? So what was this level of significance? 0.05.
Oh, it was less than.
So we reject the null hypothesis, right? So we So that would be insufficient, right?
Based on our results. Insufficient. Yeah.
So it would be yes. Is there enough?
We reject the no.
Right, but it's asking if there's enough evidence. So there's sufficient evidence to suggest. So yes. So it'd be C, right? Yes, because we reject the null
Yeah.
hypothesis.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there was ones we were going to go back and do. Should we just submit it?
Well, if we don't write these answers down, can we go back and view it after the test closes? That's what I'm wondering. So we go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, let's go back to 5 and 8 real quick. Well, what time do you have right now?
I have 10:57.
Okay, so I'm just going to go put whatever on 5 and 8 and just get them submitted. So I already think I put one down for 8. I just put independent or something. I don't know. I just guessed at it. And then 5. Did you put something down for 5?
Oh,
the
the
25
independent. I don't know. I'll see what happens.
Yeah, okay. So let's go submit it and get it turned in so we can take the
Uh,
test again.
Will it let us take it again if we start it before?
I'm thinking so. So I just submitted it.
Well, not too bad. 83.
Oh, I got 79. I
Oh.
must have put a different answer.
Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste mine so that I have it, and then I'll start it again so we can get on it so we don't lose it.
Yeah, I
before-
don't know how to copy and paste though. How do you do that?
I just highlight the whole thing, and then
Okay.
I just go to print and save it as a PDF. Okay, I gotta go, but just go ahead and start that again. I saved it, so we have it, just so we don't can't do it again. So we can do it again.
Yeah, so how do we get back up there?
Oh, hurry, hurry, hurry!
I can't go back up there. It won't let me go back up there. What the hell? I can't scroll back up. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not gonna be able to take it again here because I can't get back.
Oh, hurry, hurry!
My computer won't do it. What the hell?
Can you go to
lesson?
lesson 20?
It won't let me. God, I'm just gonna kill myself right now.
Sorry.
It's lesson 20 group meeting quiz.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Did you? Oh, good.
Good God.
Okay.
It was like I couldn't scroll back up to the top to hit quizzes again. It wouldn't let me go to it. I was like, oh God.
All right. So
Okay.
let's see. What did we do wrong here?
I think I just clicked one of the answers on those questions we didn't actually go back, and I think I clicked the wrong one from what you said because I couldn't remember what you said. So I think I missed one. So 2 was 2 wrong.
Let's see. I'm going back in here to look at it. All right. Should we quit our video?
Oh yeah.
Person.
Sorry, let me. Okay, so we're done, and we're going to go back and retake the test. And thank you. Good night.